Let's just say you have a temper problem. Maybe you've admitted it and maybe you haven't. Some of your friends know about it and some of them don't yet. Well, you won't like this verse, but you know it is still true. Proverbs 25:28 says, "A man who does not control his temper is like a city whose walls broken down." Now I want you to think about that word picture for a minute. A man or woman who does not control his temper is like a city whose wall is broken down. Now you know that in ancient days a city's wall protected that city from easy invasion from the enemy. If the wall was broken down, the citizens of that city were totally exposed to the enemy without any kind of protection or anything to slow that enemy down. Also notice the phrase, control his temper. The implication is obvious. Most of us have a temper. Without constraint, that temper can ruin your life and cause you to do some really dumb things. We have tempers, and that's why each of us must control and rule over it. I suppose there is a place and time to allow your anger to flood out, but I assume it would be in extreme situations, protecting one's mortal life or that of another. But there's still more. Everyone's temper does not always look the same. So if you're the type that quietly goes about revenge, this proverb is talking to you as much as the one who goes crazy, goes nuts. But there is still another question. How do I control it? How do I control my temper? Well, Scripture is clear. We are either controlled by our appetites and desires, or we're guided and led by the Spirit of God. The lust of our flesh brings about only those things that kill and destroy. Lust destroys businesses, relationships, marriages, families, on and on. A life controlled by the Spirit of God produces something much different. Instead of anger and hatred and selfishness and so on, a deep desire for God and fellowship with Him brings about other things like love and joy and peace and kindness and goodness and certainly self-control. So there you go. A closer faith relationship with God and His Word will bring about self-control. Your focus will be less upon what you see with your physical eyes and more what you see with your spiritual eyes. Now this might sound like religious or pie-in-the-sky talk, but it really works. Here's why. When you center your mind upon God, you will begin to see what He sees. You will be able to feel what He feels. You'll see that even in seemingly chaotic situations, He is still in control. Your mind will be focused on what is good. It will be able to celebrate the good. You will be able to see the long term, not simply the frustrating and temporary things in life. I'm Jim Piper, bringing you truth in 3 minutes.